So Mila left everything he had ever known and set out to find the most dangerous man in Tibet. Some say the black arts he would study came not from Buddhism, but from Bon, Tibet's ancient shamanic tradition. Here, death wasn't feared. It was a power to be summoned. When he finally reached Yungtin's dwelling, it looked ordinary enough. A simple stone house in a remote valley. But there was an aura of wrongness about the place. The air was too still. Birds didn't sing nearby. Yungtin Trogyul was a small, quiet man with eyes that seemed to look right through you. He listened to Mila's story without interruption. The stolen inheritance, the public humiliation, the mother's ultimatum. When Mila finished, Yungtin was silent for a long moment. "You want to learn sorcery for revenge," he finally said. "Do you understand what that means?" Mila nodded, though honestly, he had no idea. Real magic isn't about waving your hands and making things happen. Real magic is about making bargains with forces beyond human understanding. And those forces always demand payment. Mila asked what kind of payment. Sometimes your health, sometimes your sanity, sometimes pieces of your soul that you'll never get back. Yungtin studied this desperate young man and spoke words that felt ancient. When you deal in curses, boy, know that you must wear them home. But Mila was past caring about the cost. Every night, he thought about his mother's threat, about his sister's tears, about the humiliation that demanded justice. So his education in darkness began. For months, he studied forbidden texts written in languages that predated Buddhism's arrival in Tibet. He learned to draw protective circles with chalk made from bones. He memorized incantations that made his throat burn. But this wasn't like learning history or poetry. Every lesson felt like it was changing his core being. The rituals required him to embrace hatred, to nurture anger, to feed the darkest parts of his soul. He practiced on small animals first, mice, then birds, then larger creatures. Each death came easier than the last, and slowly, terrifyingly, he began to understand how much power he was gaining. The spirits responded to his calls. The protective circles held against forces that could drive men insane. His teacher watched with a mixture of pride and fear. Finally, the night came for the ultimate test. Mila stood in the center of a circle, drawn with ash from cremated criminals. Around him were symbols that hurt to look at directly. In his hands was a ritual dagger that seemed to absorb light. For hours, he chanted incantations in the ancient tongue. He called upon spirits whose names cannot be spoken in daylight. He offered pieces of his own life force as payment for what he was about to unleash. And then, an entity answered. The air became thick as water. Shadows moved independently of their sources, and Mila felt a presence so alien and hungry that every instinct screamed at him to run. But he didn't run. Instead, he made his bargain with darkness. When the ritual ended, Yungtin looked at his student with genuine fear. "You now possess the power to summon death itself," he whispered. "But remember, the forces you now command don't distinguish between guilty and innocent. Once you unleash them, they will devour everything in their path." Mila gathered his few possessions and began the journey back to his village. He was no longer the broken boy who had left months ago. He was a weapon, and he was going home.